Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me for this video. We're going to go into more of a deeper dive into Area 2, work scope, schedule, what to anticipate during construction. So if you saw the previous video on the overall project schedule, or project locations, I should say, give you a little bit of background here. River Street on the west side here. The railroad tracks is just off the top of the screen. This is 2nd Street South, and Rockford Avenue are the two streets in this area here. Just to go over the general project legend here, the highlighted lines and blocks on the page show the proposed utilities or the proposed improvements for this area. The orange lines and the orange blocks are storm sewer utilities. So the blocks would be the structures, the catch basins, and the lines would be the storm sewer pipes themselves. Green lines and blocks shown on the page is sanitary sewer. Sanitary sewer manholes, sanitary sewer mains, traveling throughout the city streets here. Blue lines and the blue blocks here are water mains, hydrants, and gate valves. So you see those running up and down the streets here. And we are installing some new lines to try and eliminate some long service lines that we know are for some houses mid-blocks here. So what we're not showing on these figures are the individual property services for the sanitary sewer and the water main. With this project, they will be replacing those out to the right of way for every house whose service comes out to the project streets. As I'm sure many of you are aware, the sanitary sewer services were evaluated prior to this project being awarded. And if you elected to have your sewer service replaced with the project, we're also going to be doing that up to the outside of your house. So that's the overall legend here. I kind of went over the city streets already, but these dark gray streets indicated here would be the streets included in this project area. The concrete hatching is kind of hard to see. We're going to post these on the city website so you can download and have a closer look at this. But with these reconstructed streets, we're going to be installing concrete sidewalk on at least one side of each city street. This is pretty typical with what we do with the new developments. Want to make sure we have good pedestrian movements, connected pathways throughout the city here. So concrete sidewalk, east side of 2nd Street, south from St. Peter to River Street. From here is currently on both sides of the street between St. Peter and Rockford. So we would put it back, and then the same from Rockford to Franklin. Sidewalk both sides of the street, 5-foot width typically. That's a typical street sidewalk width within the city here. Also with these improvements, we're going to be reconstructing the streets. So reconstructed streets would include removing the existing street section, removing any curb that is currently there, and rebuilding that to a new design street section. That section depth is about 2 feet. It's comprised of sand, aggregate base, and bituminous pavement. With this improvement, we'd be installing concrete curb and gutter on both sides of the street. So each city street that's being reconstructed gets new curb and gutter, new pavement, new utilities, and the standard street width, which is measured face to face of curb, is 32 feet for a residential street. So each one of these streets is going to be reconstructed 32 feet, with the exception of the block between St. Peter and Rockford Avenue. The reason for that is we get a lot of parking for the church, St. Pete's down here, so we want to make sure that we didn't want to constrict that street too much for if we have parking on both sides here. So that's the general project scope. As far as what to anticipate during construction here, this area is identified as one of the first areas the contractor will start in, so I would anticipate seeing construction activity in the next couple weeks. So you'll start seeing locate flags popping up, equipment showing up on site, and survey stakes shortly following. It should get pretty busy here. But following that, as far as water service, sewer service during the construction process, as they're going through and replacing the sanitary sewer service, they will reconnect your sewer service lines as they go through with the main replacement. So you won't have any interruption in your sanitary sewer service. With the water mains, prior to them removing the existing water mains, they have to set up a temporary water system, which is laid above ground and connected to each house. This, you may see a slight delay in your or stall in your water service during this time when they have to disconnect your current line and reconnect this temporary line. So you'll have continued water throughout the project. There may be a couple times when it's unavailable, but there should be advance warning from the contractor before this happens. As they're going through and replacing the existing utilities, typically they replace the sanitary sewer mains first. They'll go through, replace those, follow those with the water main, and then once they both have the water main and the sanitary sewer service replaced, they'll come and do the service lines up to the houses or to the right of way. Following that work, they would come and do the storm sewer lines, and then following the storm sewer, they would core out the road, where they would dig out what they need to build their new street section, haul that away, and build the road behind them as they go. So during the process, you may see some times where you will have limited access to your driveways. If they're digging in the sanitary sewer main or the water main in front of your house, they could have an 8-foot, 10-foot deep trench down the middle of the street. So traffic wouldn't be able to travel through the streets. When this happens, we ask the contractor to go ahead door to door ahead of time and let the homeowners know, hey, we're coming through here with sewer tomorrow. We'd ask that you park your car on a side street if you need to maintain it or get out and do any traveling during the day. It's been working pretty good in the past. It's kind of a hassle at times, but people get through it. Once they get the sanitary sewer and the water main done, they would come to the storm sewer lines. Following storm sewer would be curb and gutter, and following curb and gutter would be the base layer of bituminous pavement. So overall, start to finish, once they start doing removals on each street, we see a timeline of roughly 10 weeks that we would anticipate it being start of removals till you get it so you're ready for bituminous pavement. That can vary depending on conditions of construction or weather, but that's generally what we see. As far as garbage service and mail service during construction, it's I would say generally uninterrupted. We coordinate that with Randy Sanitation and with the contractor, that the homeowners just bring their garbage carts out to the end of the driveway when it's collection day, and the contractor would either grab those, haul them to the edge of the road where the garbage truck can get through, and that's if the street is impassable. Otherwise, they just maintain access to the garbage trucks. So that pickup time may vary from what it is now. Typically, they try and get that pickup right away in the morning if they can. As far as mail service, they have to provide a mailbox cluster during the project. That cluster location is probably for a few city blocks, and the location where that is set is dictated by the Delano postmaster. So your mail service will be excuse me, delivered to that mailbox cluster during the project, but if the homeowners would elect to do so, they can have their mail held at the post office. They'd rather pick it up there. So once we have the pre-construction schedule or pre-construction meeting held, which is for tomorrow, we will post an updated schedule here and have more information hopefully to share with everyone. So during the process here, we'll be posting updates on the city website as well. So please check into that so you can stay up to date on what's going on. So any questions or concerns coming up prior or during construction, please feel free to reach out to the project contacts, and thank you for watching.